All right, what's up, y'all? It's like a hesitation. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna sit down. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. That's where you're at. You're at the main side. We have 4 sides to us as a whole. Yeah, so our key phrase is to do what we do here. The key word is allowing the human body to work. It's just a mechanical machine placed on an earth with gravity. It's got a center line, the sternum, the trachea, the spine, the nose, the jaw, which stabilizes the entire body naturally. We have to stay centered, right? I mean, gravity's just pulling us straight down. Our feet are opposing the center on each side, gripping arches inward, and we place clothing onto our bodies. Clothing, if it's imbalanced, is going to potentially very much alter the human being. And yeah, muscles only contract. Sometimes clothing is stretchy, which is the opposite direction, so we can never have stretch within our clothing of any kind. But yes, we have 4 sides to us as a whole. I'll get into talking about each of them, and we'll talk about where clothing sits. And then after that, we'll get to this video's main topic. And the title of this is Shoelaces Have to Be Short. Okay, these are my Zero Denver leather boots. XERO is the brand. No affiliation with them from me, Evan Strong, or In the Image Clothing Company as of today's date or up until. But I shout Zero shoes out often. I'm choking up on that. I think the big thing is I need to talk about it a little bit. They're amazing in so many ways. And yeah, Zero Shoes' slogan is living life feet first. And they do it well. Very, very well. So they're a brand of what's called barefoot shoes. The intention is just to do what we do here with clothing, although we won't have shoes available, but that's what they do, is just allow the least amount of restriction that they can to the feet, as we do within everything else we wear clothing-wise. And I talk about shoes so often, and I wear Zero shoes so often, the brand, right? XERO. So there we go. I'm going to be showing them a lot within this, and I shout them out when I do, and I love to because they're great. So yes, one other fourth of us, besides this one here, is In the Image Clothing Company podcast, where we have discussions on the gospel of Jesus Christ, aka the truth of all things. We're not religious there or here or me at all as a human being, Evan Strong, but we talk about things as they are, and we just, unpack what this life really is, because we're all on the same earth. Yeah, we have another fourth of us, which is In the Image Clothing Company Music, where I show sizings and setups of guitars to allow the hands to not be altered. The hands are essentially the shoulders, as the feet are essentially the hips. The body has to work as a whole, activated in its entirety, because it's all connected. And anywhere any of it goes, all of it does. So, yes, I also make music. You can see over there, there's this bee that's hovering here. I just made another video in this same location, and the bee was here then as well. So, another fourth of us is In the Image Clothing Company Dogs, and we address all things natural. The whole phrase on that side of the company is letting dogs stay natural. There's a lot of things nowadays, potentially artificial materials in any kind of dog accessory, dehydrated dog foods, imbalances in collars, leashes, harnesses, and dogs are just as much a mechanical machine as human beings are, so they need to be unaltered as well. Okay, clothing for everybody. To allow what I just said to be the case, pants need to be entirely above the hips, so there's no restriction to the pelvis, slightly higher in the front than the rear, because these core muscles have to shorten to contract. The seams on top of our shoulders need to be evenly behind the peak bones, which that's where our shoulders work, is behind our head, always and only. And then ideally just right at the very edges for the edge seams of the shoulders, because that's where the functionality of the joint is, okay? 2 things we call prerequisites under In the Image Clothing Company. Conditional, there's not always ropes we call shoelaces on our feet, and there's not always tags in our clothing. But there's only one way to weave a rope across the top of the human foot and call it a shoelace. Wow. Not that he's in the wrong at all, I'm just saying there's noise. I'll show it. Check this out. In the Image Clothing Company's shoelacing technique. Okay, and we show how to do it anywhere you can find us. 5 words as a whole, in the Image Clothing Company. But these beautiful Zero Denver leathers wouldn't be able to allow my body to be unaltered if they were laced incorrect. All right, tying shoes evenly is a must. Over toward the center line of the human being, because there is one. Otherwise, you have rotation issues up the entirety of the body. You see those ducks? If not, there were ducks there. Here's that bee I was talking about. It's Earth Day, by the way. It's the 22nd of April 2025. So yes, great. No restriction now to the feet, other than the second prerequisite includes the shoes as well, removing all tags, because anywhere a tag is, it's either causing a physical gap, changing the body's skeletal system's only working position, and or just not allowing musculature to activate. And then you've got damage, chronic patternings, scar tissue, pain. Yikes. So the thing with keeping laces short is if we have shoelaces that are hitting the top of our feet because there's just excess length to them, and after we've tied them, it's just kind of there, right? The arches at our feet grip. Neutral ankles are from the knees, following that outward curvature of the natural lower leg bones through the ankle joint and then to the very heel of our foot. Okay, neutral pinky, toe, straight forward, neutral pinky finger, straight forward. The human body's neutrals, right? It has to have them. It has to reside in them almost always, unless you're doing something else, and then you come back, okay? That's the only way the body ever works. No opinion, no opinion, no opinion, no opinion. And we could keep saying that, and I do, where and if, okay? Because we just discuss things as they are here under In the Image Clothing Company. And the little things like the dreaded collar seam modification under In the Image Clothing Company seem like something that you couldn't have to care about to have it matter. And that's the case. You don't have to care about it, but it's mattering. It's altering your body if it's happening. And this is the case with shoelaces that are just long. Look at this. I'll shake my foot pretty good, meaning good amount of force, right? The laces aren't moving at all. And that has to be the case because these arches grip like this, right? I talked about the hand arches, which I just showed like that, straight out from the pinky. Foot arch, straight out from the pinky toe. If something's hitting onto the top of that arch, it's just going to collapse it. Now you've got external rotation at the hip because the feet are essentially the hips. So gripped arches, neutral ankles, neutral body, short shoelaces, all right? They just have to be only as long as you have to have them be to be able to tie a knot with no excess. And yeah, this is actually just rope cordage that I have used here, that I put into these, because there's no give to it. They're round, as shoelaces should be, okay? Drawstrings as well, round, no give. In the Image Clothing Company. Drawstrings, by the way, slipped lap knot, L-A-P-P. That's how we allow it to stay horizontal. Otherwise, rotations to the pelvis. That's just context that we give, and I'm glad that I said it within this, because I'm just gonna start saying stuff, man. Willy-nilly, meaning like, no, I just, more information placed within videos that maybe don't even directly correlate with the information, because the human body is the focus, okay? And just letting it work, allowing it to, the only thing you can do. So, shoelaces, okay? You can never have things tapping on the top of your feet and then have those arches rise, grip, and just work, right? Really strong, healthy feet, okay? How they would just naturally and always be, unless altered by anything. But if there's something tapping on them, they just won't grip. You're tapping on the top of them and they collapse, the arches of the feet, from shoelace excess, okay? So there you go. Running's damaging to the body. I will stand on that till the day I die, and currently I'm sitting on it. but no matter where I am, it's the case. Truth is truth. And so people go on runs, but that's one of the reasons people want to go on a run or feel like it might help them, is because their feet don't work, but they're just going through life with something tapping the top of their feet, and then their body's kind of like this, just collapsed because it's being pressed on from its top. Okay? So, yeah, tags within shoes is, you know, as I said, something that's so damaging. But the whole thing is, you feel like you want to go on a run because your feet arches are collapsed. But the reason your feet arches are collapsed, in this case, and always will be the case, if shoelaces are hitting the top of your feet with excess length, then now when you run, every step you take, those arches are just being collapsed. And so that's why I say, right, exercise, quote unquote, for the sake of exercise, is nothing but damaging to the human body. Because the body always and only can ever work activated as a whole. That's the only way that it does work, because that's what it would do, being designed by God to work, unless altered by anything. And so, yeah. There you go, okay? Keep your shoelaces short. No matter what, man. You have to. I mean, there's no opinion, right? There's no preference, there's no style, because maybe it looks cleaner. No, I mean, those things, yeah, I mean, it does. It looks nicer, but it wouldn't matter if you could even see it. It's deactivating your whole body, because the feet are the foundation. And that doesn't matter for the sake of deactivating the whole body, because if anything isn't working correct, then everything goes out of whack, because it's all one. The human body itself, the mechanical machine placed onto a rock in space. But the feet are the foundation, and our rock has gravity. And so the lowest point is no doubt going to affect the rest of it, traveling up to the tip of the head and the tips of the fingers. So shoelaces have to be cut short. They have to. If you don't want to cut them, I guess you can do anything that could possibly just make it so there's no movement happening from any excess that could be there. That's the point, right? You don't have to actually shorten them permanently, but they just can't be hitting the tops of your feet. It can't happen without so much damage. So there you go. We will have clothing available made out of 100% natural materials, staying centered, fitting correct, allowing the body to work. And that's how that happens, is by the things I said before it. Wind noise, I get it. Raw, real, in the Image Clothing Company. The only way the body works, we discuss and we let it. Check out the other 3 sides of the company if you'd like to. If you purchase in the Image Clothing Company clothing ever, just do all that you can to get it in your size. That's why we talk about where clothing sits, because it has to. No opinion. So, thank you. Yeah. There's human beings. All right. Goodbye.